2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It's time for Pet Tales.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun are positively perfect. And petcircle.com.au hand delivers the next day. Local warehouse, local delivery drivers helping you pet better.
All right, pet lovers, this one's for you and your four-legged, feathered or even scaly besties. We don't judge.
Yeah, thanks to Pet Circle, where you get the best of everything. We're playing Pet Tales and giving you the chance to win $1,000 cash.
This is easy.
Yeah, we just asked you to call with your best pet story based on today's category. What are we going with?
Today's category is inspired by none other than national hero Valerie the sausage dog, who was on the lam. She was missing for 529 days on Kangaroo Island, just roaming around. And at first they thought, oh, well, obviously she wouldn't have survived. So this is a story. The couple went camping, took their dog with them. She was in a pen and she got out of the pen and that's it. They never saw her again. They searched for a week, but then they had to go home because they've got jobs and the responsibilities they had to go back to, thinking, oh, my God, we have to leave our dog behind, knowing that was going to be certain death for Valerie. Yeah. And then just a couple of months ago, they started getting sightings of Valerie.
The wild?
In the wild.
A sausage dog.
A sausage dog surviving in the wild.
Yeah.
And so eventually there's a local wildlife reserve and she started popping up on their cameras quite a bit, and they set a trap, but they couldn't, because it's a wildlife reserve, they couldn't just have one of those traps that goes off automatically because they didn't want their own wildlife to get caught in it.
They need a specific sausage dog trap. What is a specific sausage dog trap?
They needed something that they could remotely shut the gate on by watching it, knowing that it was definitely Valerie in there. The owner of Valerie wore a T-shirt for 12 hours and then took it off and put it in the smell. So that the smell, and she kept coming back and she was eating the food, and then they caught her on Anzac Day after 529 days.
That is
a year and a half.
Wild.
Wow.
My dog nearly got hit by a car yesterday because he wandered onto the road to eat some chips that somebody had dropped on the road.
So Lewis isn't surviving in the wild.
He would not have survived. They reckon Valerie did survive by drinking dam water and eating roadkill, though. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Valerie, unbelievable.
And Valerie looks in great nick, by the way. She has not suffered at all for being on the run for a year.
That is wild. That would be so happy, but how unexpected.
I know. So what today's category is, we want to hear from you. If your pet has been missing for quite the period of time, more than just a few days, where were they? How did they get found? How did you get them back? How long were they gone for? Let's go to Laura in Alexander Heights. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
All right, Laura, talk to us about your pet that went missing for a while.
Okay, well, when I was little, I had a crazy crab.
Yes.
And he was all jelly-like, falling out of his shell.
Yeah.
So he was dead. So I buried him. And 2.5 weeks later, my dad found him walking along the bottom of our saltwater pool.
No.
You can't kill him.
Came back from the dead.
There he is.
What made you think he was dead?
Well, he was just all jelly-like. He wasn't moving. So, I just assumed he was dead.
Yeah.
He'd been like that for hours.
Oh, hours, not days, just
Maybe
hours. It's like I'm just sleeping.
He was having a nap and then wakes up. Oh.
It's like the opposite of Weekend at Bernie's.
If anyone's going to escape a sand trap, it's going to be a crab, I would have thought too. So that wasn't the best hidey hole.
That's a great point. All right, thanks, Laura. You hang there. Strong contender. Kate's in Belia. Hello.
Hi, guys. How you going?
Great, Kate. Now talk to us about your pet that was missing for quite a while.
So we had a little Tenterfield Terrier and we moved house in Belia, and one afternoon she escaped out the backyard. and she travelled over the process of 5 weeks from Beerlia all the way to the Fiona Stanley building site in Murdoch.
Mm.
And one public holiday builder could hear her crying, and they looked around and found her in an excavation hole that was going to be filled in the next day.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was only because it was a public holiday that she was found, and a builder just happened to be on site doing some bits. But, yeah, she travelled the whole way from Beerlia to Murdoch, which is a good 25-minute car drive, let alone a walk for a little Tenterfield Terrier.
So why did you think she went there?
She just followed the train tracks, we think, because we're right near the train tracks.
Yeah.
And so she just took off one afternoon, got spooked, I think, with being at the new house.
Yes.
And, yeah, just took off, and we couldn't find her for 5 weeks. We'd set traps and everything all around our house trying to catch her. Meanwhile, she's, suburbs over. So.
She's at the hospital.
But also, was she in the union? Important question.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have been paying her to work,
She's sticking a hole.
Hourly rate would be good.
Yeah. This is double time and a half. All right, great work, Kate. You hang there. Up next, we've got Heidi from Greenwood. Hi, Heidi.
Heidi. Hello, Heidi.
Heidi, turn your radio off there, Heidi, so that you can hear us. Okay. Hello. Now talk to us, Heidi. How long did your animal go missing for? What happened?
Okay, so it was about 3 weeks. It was my friend's cat. I was out walking one morning and I saw this deceased cat on the side of the road, and it looked like my friend's cat. It had the same collar. It had everything. So I called her. She sent her son down to identify the cat with me. Yes, it was her cat. We went and knocked on someone's door, got a garbage bag, put the poor cat in there, carried it home. She took it to the vet, had it cremated, paid the hundreds of dollars for the ashes, brought the ashes home. It was a very sad time. About 3 weeks later, she was cooking dinner and in walked her cat.
Oh.
What?
That she would have probably
This isn't a back from the dead story, Sean. It didn't survive the cremation. It was a mistaken identity.
Oh, my God.
So we have no idea whose cat she had cremated, but it wasn't her cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
And did she keep the ashes of someone else's?
I think she did, yeah.
You feel bad throwing them away then, so now you just...
You don't throw them away, you scatter them.
Okay, yeah.
A scattered cat.
All right. Well, we've now got a decision to make. Thank you, Heidi. So we've got Laura, who buried her deceased crab only for it to dig itself up again and lives a couple of weeks later. We've got Kate, whose Tenterfield Terrier went on a 5-week walk and ended up in a hole at Fiona Stanley Hospital. And Heidi, whose friend's cat was cremated only to find that it wasn't her friend's cat.
I'm going to put mine to the crab, the crazy crab, Laura.
Normally we don't say which one we're voting for.
I don't mind who wins.
We just secretly hold up fingers and the like. Well, I'm going to say that, which means it's 1-1. Sean, are you saying that as well?
Yeah, I'll go with you now.
Okay, all right. So we are awarding the $1,000 cash to Kate, whose Tenterfield Terrier went missing for 5 whole weeks and ended up in a hole. All right, Kate, $1,000 from Pet Circle, all yours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Don't worry if you missed out, everybody. There is another opportunity to win tomorrow. We'll have a slightly different pet-related category, but also a shout-out to our hero of this story, Valerie, the sausage dog on the run for 529 days. We're so proud of her and everything that she's done. I'm voting for her to be Australian of the Year next.
Yeah, well done, Valerie.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Sean is coming at you live from Bali this morning.
Living the dream.
Can you believe it? Yeah, Legion Beach.
Yeah.
Well, I got here the first day, Nat. It was really funny, actually, because, trying to get back into the groove, should I say. We're up here quite often. Obviously, everyone hears about that. But we went down to the beach to meet a few people, and a couple of them were friends of my second son, Cooper, and they'd had a big night. Well, just about every night, actually. They'd had a few big nights.
They're making the most of the hospitality.
Yeah, they are. But one of the girls was a bit sick from 2 nights before. And so while she'd been out all the time, she said she was struggling a bit. She was, she got the usual barley belly and had put her on her back heels for a couple of days. And to that point, my daughter Sunny was talking and she said, I've been to Bali so many times, 15 times, in fact. She reckons she's been to Bali in her short life. And she's never, ever got sick. Well, of course, we went. That is the worst thing you could ever say in the whole world.
Especially
Tony.
as a McManus.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's a double bad luck.
Yeah, we make some weird statements sometimes.
So is she in hospital on a drip as we speak? What's happening?
Well, it took literally probably 4 hours after that before she started throwing up. We literally left the beach after hanging out with those people for an hour. We went and had dinner. And then next thing you know, she was knocking on the door and she needed to go to the bathroom.
I don't feel very well.
That was it. Yep.
Oh, no.
Put her on her on the back foot for a day. She's been fine.
She bounced back,
since.
all right. But
she's bounced back.
It's the fact that she jinxed herself and it came true almost immediately.
4 hours.
Like within 4 hours. That's crazy.
Well, I do it all the time when I make football declarations, but I know when you're on holidays, you can't say that stuff. You can't.
No, I know. As soon as you hear those words coming out of it, I know, put them back in. Yeah. Put them back in because that's massive trouble.
Yeah. Big time jinxes. There was another lady who joined us. She had been over with our friends over Noosa Lombongan, a place that Ross has been to recently.
Great little island there.
And she was a country girl and she has a motorbike license and she says, I've driven all the motorbikes under the sun and a little scooter around the island will be just a medicine for me. So she wanted the biggest scooter that you can get and she pointed the one out and she literally got on it in the driveway of the place where you could hire that from over there. And she literally drove like 10 metres and then went to turn around and she dropped with the scooter and it landed on her ankle. She broke her ankle just like that. So straight on a boat back to Bali here and then she had to fly out.
And that's a long boat ride as well. It's like a 30-minute required
holiday over.
Ride. Yeah.
That's it. Done.
Holiday done. Just
done
like that.
Dusted. Oh, all right. We want to hear about people that have jinxed themselves. Did you make a bold statement just like that? I've been to Bali 15 times, never gotten sick, and then within minutes gotten sick the Sonny McManus way. Let's go to Madison in Brabham. Hi, Maddie.
Hello.
All right, Madison. Did you manage to jinx yourself? What happened?
Very similar. I went to Bali for the 29th time in February for my birthday.
Yes.
And I'm always taking annual leave from work, so they're kind of taking the mickey out of me, going, you're going to Bali again, you're going to get sick. And I'm telling everyone I'm immune. I was not immune. I got sick on my birthday, had to get the doctor out, 2 needles in the bum. It was not a good time.
Oh, Madison.
Yep.
It's the devastation, isn't it, that you have, not that you've gotten sick, but that you told everybody it doesn't happen to you.
Yep. Had to come back and confess to everyone.
Not a great birthday there.
Yeah. No, not a great birthday.
No.
Although I was going to make a joke about a couple of jabs in the butt, but I'm not going to. That would not be tasteful.
Let's go to Candy.
You're better than that.
Candy and
Ross
Brilliton.
moving on. Hi, Candy.
Morning.
Oh, hang on, we haven't got Candy up. Where's Candy? There she is. Hi, Candy.
Morning.
Morning.
I've got a hubby that thinks he is the best motorbike rider in the world and was bragging to his mates about how he's never had an accident. He always does the speed limit. Everything's all good with him. He's the perfect bike rider.
Yes.
That was on a Saturday night, bragging to his friends about that. The next day, we took him to go and look at I think it was a Kawasaki Bumblebee motorbike. Somebody's house, that someone was selling it at Gumtree years ago.
Yeah.
And he takes it for a test drive while I'm in the gentleman's driveway. He's taking it for a test drive and he's going around the roundabout. He didn't see a bit of yellow sand that was left on there from somebody, and the motorbike skidded out with his leg underneath it, and he had ground his toe, big toe, right down to the bone. Ended up in hospital. and had to have plastic surgery on this toe because it was so disgusting you could see the bone.
Yes.
But he also got a blood infection while he was in hospital. So the big joke is, you just don't do that. You can't brag about it.
What about how much damage did he do to the bike that he hadn't yet bought?
Yeah, well, we had to pay quite a large sum because the guy had to have the left-hand panel redone and spray painted after it had been redone and spray painted and everything. So it was a costly exercise, not only in the repairs, but, with him off work for quite a while. He still, to this day, he has to have medical attention to the toe and podiatry work done.
God, Candy.
That is terrible.
Yeah, he's not a... Sorry?
Did the owner of the bike, was he more upset about the injury to your husband or his bike?
No, he was mortified to see when he came off the bike on the sand. But when both and I were running down there, I'm running for my husband. I was running for the bike. But yeah, he was a little bit more mortified about his bike. So, but I mean, needless to say, we paid for all of the repairs, but he's never allowed to ride a motorbike again, or even mention the word, because there'll be death in the family, I think.
Yeah, good idea, Candy. Jeez.
Full on. Thanks,
that was
Candy.
only going to end badly, wasn't it?
I know, right? Oh, I didn't think it would end with plastic surgery on a toe, though. Callum's in Silver Sands. Morning, Cal.
Morning.
Morning, how are you?
Thank you, buddy.
Did you jinx yourself, Callum?
I did. I was down the skate park with my little boy, and we're cruising around for about half an hour, and everything was fine. It started sprinkling, so I was like doing slides on the skateboard, and then I came up just to stop to rest, and I pulled up next to him, and just as I said, I'm pretty good for an old man, the board just slipped straight out from underneath me, and I was like vertical in the air, and just landed on my hip and my knee, and I had the largest bruise. It was black and purple and green all down my leg. But to top it off, there was a group of little kids down there, and as soon as I stacked it, they were all like, "Oh, did you see the old man stack it?"
Callum, I could not relate to this more. So you're a dad, and you would have been like, "I've still got, hey son, I still got it. Watch this, guys. Your dad's got it. He used to be great back in the day. Probably still got it. Boom, down.
Do you feel the respect that your child ever had for you just evaporating in that moment? Is that the way it works?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Callum, great work.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
I know you've been wondering how you're going to fill the void that MAFS has left. But luckily, the Cheap Seats is back tomorrow night at 8:40 on Channel 10. And joining us now is the guy that sits next to Melanie Bracewell, Tim McDonald. Good morning.
Morning, Tim.
Morning, guys. Thank you. And we were actually paired together by the Married at First Sight expert.
There you go.
It's amazing we've lasted more than 2 weeks.
That's right. Once again, they nailed it, obviously, because the sexual chemistry is extraordinary.
Well, we start on Tuesday night with Intimacy Week, so that should be a lot of fun.
Hey, Timmy, outside of Intimacy Week, what can we expect on the cheap sheets?
Yeah, what a gear change this is going to be from Married at First Sight Intimacy Week to the Pope passing away. A lot of news stories happening. Basically, if you've never seen the show, we watch all the news so that you don't have to. We find the best bits, and there's so much news happening. We've watched all of the Pope coverage. We've watched all of the election coverage.
What about Valerie?
I was just about to mention Valerie. What a great country it is, where the lead story is a sausage dog who's returned after 529 days.
It's my favourite story of the year. Keep going.
As a matter of how long that was, 529 days, I think that was the Eagles' last win. So that's how long Valerie's been away for.
That's hurtful.
To be fair, when you think about those stories you've just been covering, particularly the federal election that's coming up, that is clearly the best story that we need to hear about, because no one wants to hear any of the other stuff.
No.
Totally. And look, we're all over the election. We're all over the Clive Palmer ads every 35 seconds. So we're going to bring the best. But what I love about the election are the minor parties and the independent candidates. The guys that don't have the huge budget for their videos, they don't have high production values. So you just see them. We've got a candidate who we're going to show on Tuesday night who's literally just wheeling out his wheelie bin whilst he's giving his policy announcements. So I love the little guys. Those are the things that we love on the cheap seats.
He's a man of the people, you know?
He's a man of the people. He was literally putting out his recycling. And I think he said the phrase, hopefully I'll have something more exciting for you tomorrow. So we love it.
Tim, the debate was on last night. What did you take away from that? Did you watch it, there was a question about eggs. How much are eggs? I think Dutton called him Albanese Trump light. But what did you take away from it?
Well, that's the thing. Channel 7 promoted it as the questions that we all need answered, and their question was, what's the price of a dozen eggs worth? Which, unbelievable. Look, in Peter's defence, he's more comfortable with a bag of potatoes. We know that. And
feels like cannibalism, though.
It does feel like cannibalism. $8 is a pack of 12 eggs, which is amazing. Oh, 80, yeah. That's I don't know. I've got to ring my bank manager every time I go to Woolworths. So it's unbelievable. Do you have that problem, Sean, where you are currently in Bali?
Yeah. Tim, when I'm paying for an egg at the moment, well, yeah. It's possibly 10 cents. I did have a massage yesterday. I was telling the guys that it was $12, and I was looking for my money back because it wasn't for $12, and I was still upset about it. It wasn't good enough.
Oh, yeah, no, and we all feel your pain, Sean. Don't you hate it when you're on holiday in Bali and the massage wasn't good enough? It's the worst, isn't it?
I just like to connect with the people, you know?
You're a common man.
Thank you.
What about, the other thing we have to cover off with you, because you are Australia's foremost F1 expert. How are we feeling? Oscar Piastri's doing all right for himself?
We're feeling great. So we're 5 races into the season. He's won 3 of them. He's leading the championship, which an Aussie hasn't done for so long. And all the talk is that he is genuinely a title chance, which would just be unbelievable. Mark Webber, his manager, came close. Danny Rick came close as well. What we love about Oscar is he's so different. You know, Ricardo used to celebrate with shoeies and going out to the nightclubs, jumping in a pool. Piastri plays Monopoly and goes to bed early. So he's a different cat, but he's really switched on, and he is a genuine title chance.
Tim, can I ask you about that as well? Because I think last time we were speaking, I was more so saying that Lando Norris would be the person that they would probably throw more of their support behind, and Oscar may be right up there, but it just seems like that was the way things going to go. But now that he's up there and leading the championship, can it shift a little bit from a team perspective?
It absolutely can. So in every F1 team, there are 2 drivers, and basically there comes a point around about this stage of the season where they go, who's the driver who's got the best chance of winning the title? For the first time, it is Oscar. So I think in a couple of races' time, you're going to start to see McLaren, his team, put all their eggs in Oscar's basket. And a basket of eggs at Woolworths, I believe, costs $12.95, according to the debate. But it's great. It means he's got an absolute genuine chance, which I'm so excited for. Miami is the race this weekend. I think it's on about 4 a.m. Perth time, or about 3 in the afternoon Bali time, I believe.
Thank you very much.
Catherine DeShort. Hey, just quickly, Tim, so there's some talk. I mean, it's by ex-racers and on podcasts. I don't know if there's anything to it, but so they're saying Lewis Hamilton, maybe he'll throw in the towel because he won't have the love for it. He's currently sitting 7th. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is the year he moved to Ferrari, which is his boyhood dream. I'm not sure how he's going because he's a vegan, and I'm not sure Italians know what that word means.
So he doesn't care about the price of eggs, though, does he?
No, that's exactly right. Ask him what the price of tofu is, and he'd be all across it. So, look, he is one of the greats. You never write him off, but at the moment it looks like it's Max Verstappen, who's the 4-time-in-a-row world champion, up against the Aussie Oscar Piastri. It basically means this season is just going to be unbelievable. So we cannot wait. 5 races down, 19 to go.
Wow, what a long year for them, though, with all those races still to come. It's so gruelling for them. You forget, we see the glitz and glamour of it all, but, geez, it's a gruelling season for them, all the travel. And you got to get the job done.
And you think about the guys who work on the car, so the people who are putting the tyres on, fixing the brakes, they will be at the track till about midnight, and then often they are on the first flight in the morning the next day to the next race. So these guys, they don't have a life. They work super hard, much like a certain Perth radio presenter who I know who's currently away in
You
Bali.
just put things to the side, mate. You just keep going. Absolute
when
trooper.
Are you back?
I'm back tomorrow. I'm going to do the show from Tim. I'll be away for tomorrow. I'll be doing the show from here tomorrow, but then I'll be jumping on the first plane out of here. So I actually feel like I need to come back and join society.
You have to.
Feels like it might be easier to ask when are you not going to be on the show. That might be an easier.
No, it's fine. He's going to be back in Australia just in time for the cheap seats tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So
I will be.
That's his high priority, obviously.
Pretty sure Channel 10 and 10 Play don't quite make it to Indonesia, but if you're back home, Shawnee, we'd love to get you on the couch. Tuesday night, 8:40 on 10, Mel Bracewell, me, and special guest to be confirmed.
Oh.
But if you just look at the top of the Channel 10 chimney, once you see white smoke come appear, you'll know that we've found a guest.
The conclave is happening now to try and determine who it's going to be, but it's obviously Grant Tenya.
Yes.
Once again, Tim McDonald, it's always a pleasure.
We can't get Daniel out of the building. Hey, guys, thank you so much for having me. Enjoy.
Good on you, Tim.
Catch up with you again soon.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.